I got in a little trouble. I said that our women's soccer team was supposed to easily win, but they went woke. The one with the purple hair, she didn't play too well.
And it would be devastating for her if she weren't able to continue.
Oh, and this is a player that we know has battled some injuries as of late in her career, and there she goes down, just unattested on the top of your screen, off to a bright start.
She went woke. You can have her.
I mean, you know, I'm not a religious person or anything, and if there was a God, like, this is proof that there isn't. This is up. So yeah, it's just.
All right, folks. Well, today we come to you with a story I think a lot of you will appreciate, because we got to talk about Megan Rapinoe. Of course, if you are unfamiliar with Rapinoe, she is the blue-haired, now pink-haired U.S. women's soccer player who's been known throughout the years to be a pretty raging liberal. And of course, people may say, okay, put the partisanship aside for a second. Who cares that she's a Democrat? We're all Americans at the end of the day. To which I say, I really do have to question that. Because she, of course, has not just been known for liberal politics. Her biggest legacy is kneeling for the national anthem. And keep this in mind, not just during private league games, because as much as I disagree with doing that anywhere, you could make the argument, well, if it's the NFL, it's the NBA, you know, that's a private league. You know, they technically have the right to do whatever they want. It's their free speech or whatever. But Megan Rapinoe took that one step further, because she was known for kneeling for the national anthem at the Women's World Cup. Okay, so at the World Cup, while she's wearing a jersey that literally says USA on it, she is representing our country on the world stage. She was embarrassing and humiliating and disgracing our country in front of the rest of the world. And of course, you know, one could perhaps make the argument, well, who cares, because no one actually watches the Women's World Cup, so no one's going to even see that we got embarrassed. And I suppose that's a fair argument. But the principle of it, okay, so this is fundamentally, I think, the biggest reason why a lot of people don't like Megan Rapinoe. And of course, to add insult to injury, she of course also went out and said that she would not mind playing with a transgender on Team USA, to which I, of course, responded, of course, you wouldn't mind playing with a transgender. I think the question is, would you mind playing against a transgender? Right? What would you do if, like, Sweden or Brazil or some other country had a full team of men and they were just destroying you, defeating you like 10-0 in the soccer game? Would you have something to say then, Megan? I think this is, of course, the question. So that's all the context that brings us to this point. And we have the news over this weekend that Megan Rapinoe played in her final soccer game ever, which I think, you know, there's a round of applause enough in itself just hearing that. Wow, we never have to hear from her ever again. I truly have never been prouder to be an American than this day. But it gets better than that, because, of course, folks, we got to show you how she went out. Okay, so you may be asking, you know, did she have a hero send-off? Was it like Kobe in the last game where he scored 60 points and the crowd was cheering? No, folks. She could not have gone out in a more humiliating and embarrassing fashion. Let us play for you. Take a look at this. This was over the weekend, the final play of Megan Rapinoe's career. Take a look.
And it would be devastating for her if she weren't able to continue.
Oh, and this is a player that we know has battled some injuries as of late in her career, and there she goes down, just unattested on the top of your screen, off to a bright start.
Okay, watch it in slow motion one more time so you can kind of see what happens here. Okay, so she's running. Here she is. She's running, playing defense, whatever, and I don't know. She kind of just falls down, right? And that is, of course, how Megan Rapinoe ended her storied soccer career that all 10, maybe 11 fans of women's soccer watched. Now, let me be clear about this. as much as I dislike her, and, you know, I have problems with a lot of certain professional athletes, I'm not here to really kick athletes when they're down. In fact, I don't really like when people do that, because even in the women's sport, it is technically a competitive game. You know, these people try hard, and, you know, when things like this happen, I don't root for any player, even the ones I don't like. I don't root for them to get injured or anything like that. But I do have to say about watching this play and how she got injured. Okay, simple question here. What the heck was that? Right? She wasn't being touched, and it didn't even seem like she particularly twisted her leg or did anything weird. She kind of just falls down there. Okay? And so naturally, when I was watching this play, I got to be honest, and then of course you look at her reaction here, you know, she doesn't seem to be in a whole lot of pain. She's just kind of just like, okay, well, you know, whatever. Was that injury even real? Okay? I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just asking the question. When I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, did she actually get hurt? Or did she just kind of feel, okay, my body's failing me, I'm not going to do well in this game, you know, maybe just fall over and kind of, you know, do a flop and leave the game because of it? Because, again, when you watch it, it seems like that's what might have happened. Now, to not go there and not even question that, I will say either one of two things are true in this injury, because, you know, you look at the way it happened, it's so mysterious and strange. Either A, like I said, she faked or sort of milked the injury, again, which is perhaps possible. But assuming for a moment that injury was 100% real, and again, that odd just kind of fall to the ground when no one was touching her and she's not even like really in the field of play here, then in that case, and I do keep in mind, of course, it is women's soccer, so, you know, it's a different kind of level of sport than the men. Watching that injury, to me, again, assuming it is a real injury and how it happened, kind of vindicates the fact, does it not, that, yeah, women's sports are not on the same level as men's sports. And, you know, you claim, oh, we're athletic too, you know, we should be paid equally, blah, 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 which, of course, another thing she's been known for throughout the years. She's been saying we need to be paid equally as the men, which obviously never made no sense from a pure logistical standpoint, because nobody watches women's soccer. More people watch men's soccer. Of course, the men are going to be paid more because more people are watching. There's more revenue generated by that industry. It's pretty straightforward. But, you know, even the argument made from a competitive basis, in terms of the way women's sports are not as, you know, grueling or athletic or competitive as men, you watch her play like that, and assuming the injury is real and that's really how she got hurt and she was done for the game because of that, you wonder why no one watches women's soccer. You wonder why no one respects it. You wonder why it doesn't generate nearly as much revenue as the men's sports. Maybe because, again, if that is a 100% real injury and that's the type of stuff that happens in women's soccer, maybe the athletic level isn't really there, and that's why people don't particularly care for it. I don't know. Again, that's just speculation on my part. Nonetheless, we do here have to report that is, of course, how Megan Rapinoe went down, which, again, folks, let me reiterate, I'm not here to dunk on her or insult, oh, an athlete got injured. But, of course, you consider all the trash talking she's done throughout the years and stuff. It's ironic, right? It's kind of ironic or humbling or whatever, a way to go out for sure. Of course, I will say on the flip side that she did not seem to be particularly humble about it, because in the post-game interview, when asked about the injury, she said that her getting injured, she insulted God and anyone who even believes in God here. She said that her getting hurt, I kid you not, listen to this, her getting hurt was proof that God doesn't exist. Okay? I'm not joking about that. Take a listen to what she says here.
And this is a long one, although I'm going to get the Aaron Rodgers treatment, whatever that is. So I'm going to be calling him or whoever did his surgery, because we need to speed this up. But yeah, I thought about it a little bit. I mean, you know, I'm not a religious person or anything. And if there was a God, like, this is proof that there isn't. This is up. So yeah, it's just because like 6 minutes in, eat my Achilles. I mean, what the
So you guys got that? Her, Megan Rapinoe, U.S. women's soccer player, her getting injured in a soccer game, which again is unfortunate, even though I don't like her. But according to her, that is proof that God doesn't exist. You know, she's really been a very egotistical, real scumbag throughout the years. And, that's known. We've seen it from her before. But the level of ego there, right? You hear a lot of other pro athletes, even the ones who I probably don't agree with politically, a lot of them still at least claim to be Christian or believe in God or thank God or something. And of course that could be the comment saying, I'm thankful for a great career, even if it didn't end the way I wanted. God's plan, whatever. No, she says, because I, Megan Rapinoe, got injured in my last game in a way that was not even particularly athletic or, whatever. Because I got hurt in a sport, that's proof God doesn't exist, because God would never allow me to, make myself look stupid in a soccer game. Speaks for itself, right? Speaks for itself. She will not be missed from this sport. Although, again, I or really nobody even watches the sport. So I don't think many people will even notice that she will be missed. But there we have it. Last thing I do want to play. We've played this before every time we talk about her, but one last time, because we're probably never going to be talking about Megan Rapinoe again on this channel. One last time, we got to play the famous Trump line about her and about going woke. And this will be the send off of the most disgraceful and annoying and unlikable female women's soccer player of all time. Take a listen.
I got in a little trouble. I said that our women's soccer team was supposed to easily win, but they went woke, except for a few of them. I love those women that stood up and they saluted our flag. There was some of them. But the one with the purple hair, she didn't play too well.
She didn't play too well. She didn't play too well.
You can have her. And they didn't do too well, unfortunately. We want them to do well, but they didn't. But it's true about woke. You just take a look. Everything goes bad. It's a shortcut to losing everything you have. I got in a little trouble.
So fitting. So fitting, folks. All right, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of this entire situation with Megan Rapinoe. Are you going to miss her? Are you going to miss having to deal with her and, her ego in the press conferences and all that stuff? Are you? I don't think many people will. So, of course, that is how she will be remembered, as the idiot who was claiming she deserves to be paid equally, even though, again, the argument speaks for itself. She will be remembered for kneeling for the national anthem while representing Team USA, which is a whole nother level of disrespectful, even worse than just kneeling for the national anthem in a private function, right? And, for embracing transgender athletes in the sport. And, when you really think about it, hey, 10 years from now, I'm sure women's soccer will be full of men, right? Because all the countries are going to figure, hey, let's just put a bunch of men on the team. So, maybe to a degree, even though you don't like her, we can look at this. Wow, that truly is going to be the last quote unquote great or talented, relatively in comparison to the rest of the sport, talented actual women's soccer player who is a woman. Because, in the future, because of the things she advocates for, I don't think women's soccer is even going to be played by women. But with that said, folks, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. And until next time, Alpha Moves only. God bless. Have a very good day and peace.